broadcaster was killed because they wanted to teach her a lesson. And here's where I say, please, when you have people around you, please be careful. And we've talked about this before. I think it was on her lens. Let's just be careful with the people that we have around her in our employment and all of that. I mean, even family members do kill each other, so this is not even a function of anything. Like, let's just make sure it's just bandits, and our thoughts and condolences to the family members of those affected by this tragedy. Over to you, Nima.
From the Guardian newspaper, Tinubu reassures Southwest on security, vows safe return of Orire abductees. I'm waiting for them to be returned 41 or 42 days now.
Yeah.
DNA report confirms missing journalist Onifade dead.
Again, another sad news with regards to another journalist. Pelumi Onifade was a journalist, age 20, he died at 20, was a journalist during the NSARS movement. And he was a journalist during the NSARS movement. And he had confirmed that it was his body. So his body was found in a random place. I think somewhere in Ikorodu.
Yes, Ikorodu.
Body 13, and what was written on his body was body 1345, not even his name. But they've been able to ascertain that it is, Pelumi Onifade. First of all, nobody likes to know that. I don't even know which is, none is better, but people would rather know that, oh, they found the body of their loved one than somebody has been missing for so long, because there's no closure there. That doesn't mean that either of them is better than the other. No, nobody prays for this kind of situation. And it also begs the question, so we cannot come out, and this is a fellow journalist as well, so we cannot come out and report on things that we see. Is there now a gag on journalists? Every now and again, we've talked about how when people come out to protest, they're witch hunted, they're beaten, they're tear gassed, and you're just wondering, where is the justice for people who are carrying out their civil rights? I mean, age 20. That young man is just starting his life. Now, it's one thing for someone to say, you know what, I want to sacrifice my life for the better good, and then we see things. We see positive consequences, right, from that act or from that sacrifice. But in this situation, I don't know. But our thoughts and prayers are with his family. I read this at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I had to hold myself from crying this morning because of how sad, this is. But yeah, moving on, Nima.
Okay. From this day newspaper, Katsina government denies sponsoring Hajj for bandits, demands evidence. What do you mean Hajj for bandits? Well,
yeah, the one I said.
She said, well,
because if I said what I want to say,
what do
they actually think that they are carrying out the right thing.
Another Allah that they are serving by the way. Another Allah that they are serving by the way. Because if it's the Allah I serve, nah, you don't kill people. There is a system in place. There's a legal system, a justice system. So let me skip it. CCB investigates assets, declaration of 19 ministers, 37 permanent secretaries, other high-risk officials. Okay, moving on to the Daily Trust newspaper. Motorists demand cheaper petrol as crude price falls. Minimum wage, 70,000 naira no longer sustainable, says Gbajabiamila. So the Vanguard newspaper, Oluremi Tinubu decorated as Grand Matron of Nigerian Red Cross. Union shots affected the campus over students' deaths. Moving on to the Premium Times newspaper, 11 days after Imo abduction, gunmen still owed 8 victims. Like, what's happening in Nigeria? Reconcile with Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso, Sanusi tells ECOWAS. Moving on to the Nation newspaper, federal government invested 217 billion naira in medical education, healthcare training in 2 years, says Alausa. PDP can deliver renewed hope better in Lagos, veteran broadcaster, security guard in Ogun State. Court sentences 2 to death for kidnapping NYSC staff in Ekiti. Nice, nice, nice. Daily Post, Makinde extends curfew in 10 Oyo local governments over abduction of 39 students, 7 teachers. Stop using Mr. Ibu's name to beg. Actor 10 Kobo tackles late actor's wife. Widow, rather. Beg your pardon, widow. Moving on to the Tribune newspaper, fake nurse arrested over alleged baby theft attempt in Anambra. I think we talked about baby theft and trafficking in Harlem yesterday. So it's good to see newspaper. Nigerian women groups kick against ambassadorial nomination of Abayomi Fashino over pending sexual harassment allegation against him. Trailer loses control, crashes into Federal Medical Center. Thanks. That's all for the headlines today. Now we get into it.
Yes. Well done, Nima. Okay, let's bring on our analyst this morning. You already know the number to call 07000 or 0800-123-5917. You can text or WhatsApp us on 0703-1756537 or 08155917917. Let's bring on our analyst. Good morning, Adeton. Once again, how are you?
I'm good. I'm super excited because it's actually another end of a month. As you said, we are running to the half of the month, and it's great to be back.
To have you back. It's great to have you back. Okay, let's start off with this one. The federal government is reviewing 70,000 naira minimum wage. When I saw this, I said, my network seems to be falling my hand this morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, I can.
Okay, all right. Okay, thank you so much. The federal government, this is from the Vanguard newspaper, is reviewing the 70,000 naira minimum wage. This is Gbajabiamila said. And I was like, okay, because we've talked about it many times. 30K, 70K, people spend 70K to any market. You want to do your household shopping, you're going to spend 70K. And who was it? It was Bookie on Wednesday. I was also talking about, let's just imagine that to husband and wife, they are women workers, 140K is what is coming into the house. And then there is also, they have children that go to school, that have to eat. They themselves, they just say, maybe them, they cannot eat. They have to eat. Like, how is that 70K is what they're still looking at? And this is even on the heels of the conversation that, what's his name? But said, oh, well, the young guy is not really the young guy in the land. Kind of. So I'd like to know what your thoughts are on this.
Well, if you really look at it, even the 30K was really nothing, compared to the 70K we even have right now. But, some people will say, oh, thank God that something is even coming in at this moment. 70K, by the time you remove money for food and other, items, then talking about those who have household to feed and school fees and all that, that with what we have right now, it's really nothing. But what kept on coming to my mind when I saw this is that, are we really saying that as civil servants, those who are in that particular, terrain, are we saying that government is that poor and that's the least that government can, offer its workers? Because I look at what those in the civil service are earning, whether it's grade 1, grade 2, I learned they have different grades and all that, compared to what the appointed, appointees of the whole country, the state, and even the federal level, what they are earning. And I'm wondering, but we make, a lot of criticism on them on why some of our political appointed officers are, extravagant in their spending attitude and all that. Are we saying they are so insensitive to those in the civil service to the extent that they have more money because they are in certain positions politically, and that those that are actually serving the people, directly interfacing with the masses are the ones that have to, earn such an amount? Don't forget that they also have a responsibility when it comes to governance in Nigeria as well. If they decide to go on strike for whatever reasons, thousands, millions of Nigerians, will be panicking, because these are the people that serves the citizens directly at the grassroots. Especially when you go to the healthcare centers, it is those in the civil service, whether it's local government, whether it's Ministry of Health, whatever, they are the ones serving the people directly. So are we saying they deserve such low amounts? Because I've actually tried to think about it back and forth. And that's why you see some of them, they are ready to resign and go into politics, because now they feel that, if we are doing our own duties here and we are earning so little. And that's why when they get there, they forget where they are coming from. So their eyes is just on that money, the price. The greediness is not like, I was selfless as a civil servant. Now I want to get there because there is a cake to share. Because over the years, I've seen that this is what is happening. Why do they leave the civil service and say they want to go to a particular state to contest? They want, even within their state, they want to contest, because they've seen that it seems those at that level, civil service in quotes, are not really, I will make money. As a civil servant, I'm not making enough money. And that wasn't the case in years past. We've had those in civil service that were appointed, they voted, people voted for them, and they carried on that legacy of being, patriotic citizens. They served diligently. I can mention quite a few of them that left the civil service and they were appointed. We still talk about Jack Hunde today because of the impact he left, not just as a civil service person, but the transformation he brought even into governance and so many others. But that is not the case now. So it's more like we are actually the ones creating corrupt politicians from the civil service, because their goal now is to become politicians. Their goal now is to contest so that they can grab all the things that they were deprived of while working as civil servants. They want to get it once they get into politics. And most of them are the ones going for politics now. They are the ones. We only have few in the private sector who are saying, I want to be social governor, I want to contest as House of Reps or something. Most of them, go and check the data of those that are actually contesting for elections in Nigeria. They are crops from the civil service. And it's really sad, because, you can just imagine when doctors strike, we see the panic in the whole country, not talk of even for each state. Look at the local government. Are they well paid? Look at the ministries. Are they well paid? Because most of the time we focus on the state governors and those at the federal level. But what are those people that are the civil service at the...
I'm dragging us back, but don't you think this minimum wage is actually affected by the economy of the country? Because I was thinking about it when I saw the headline this morning that if our economy is good, if everything is affordable, if our leaders can put better rules and regulations into place, the minimum wage won't really affect us. Like, we are okay, 70,000, 30,000. So does it have anything to do with the economy, or do you feel whether or not the economy is good, the minimum wage should be increased?
Of course, it's a cycle, Nima. And, when you go back to the way the situation is in Nigeria, things are not really that favorable in a lot of sense, whether we like it or not. But the fact remains that even when the economy was a bit better than what it was today, we still had issues of corruption with our political office holders. They still spend extravagantly, and people complain at the brim of sitting down. I think I can talk about few times when we've had this discussion on why do our political office holders have to be extravagant in their spending, while the people are, yearning for them to answer to them. So it has nothing to do with the economy. See, most countries, even those in other climes, they have been well disciplined about the finances, about the socio-economic, situations in the country, that you hardly find them, not that they don't have, that you hardly find them that crops of their office holders, political office holders, are the ones really grabbing the wealth of the nation. They think of the people that put them there. Compared to what we have in Nigeria, the economic situation can be more worse than this, but the fact remains that our political leaders, are they leading by example? They've said it several times. Citizens should make sacrifices. Are they making sacrifices as our leaders? Or they are not bothered? They just want to grab as many from the citizens, impoverishing the citizens day by day. They have investors coming into Nigeria, but why are they leaving? Because of the policy that we thought would have been better. It seems they don't want to stay in Nigeria. Talk about the tariff you are paying every month. And even the fact that they will just come up and say the tariff has increased. Talk about the commodities in the market. You buy something for 10 naira, you go back, you are buying it triple times. So it's not just about the economy, it's about the people, the leaders. Are they disciplined enough to say, this economy, we are going to make it work. We are not just going to enjoy it. Let the people that we are serving also benefit from it. Why is it that we have a larger percentage of Nigeria talking about the food we have on our tables? Why are we talking about the minimum wage? Because out of that 100%, 99.9 are the masses. They are the ones that are really suffering a lot. Those that are up there, are they really concerned about the livelihood of every Nigerian? You've seen several reports saying, oh, some people can hardly, afford one meal in a day. And they said maybe $20 or how much is it? Despite the fact that there's been a shift in, these policies for economy, these policies, we are borrowing this, we are borrowing that. Has it made any impact in the life of a larger percentage of citizens in Nigeria? When you have that, then you can rest assured that people will not complain. If I can still get pints of Gary at as low as maybe 800, 500, I won't have to complain whether the government is doing what. Because I know the economy is actually working for even the ordinary Nigerians, not talk of those that are in the higher class. So that we are talking about, we borrowed from nations that have been disciplined with their finances, with their economic situations. If they were not able to manage their resources, they won't be able to give Nigeria any money. Yeah. So instead of our political office to look at it, that it's not just about the economy, the embezzlement, the corruption in government spaces is largely too much.
And then we keep on finding money. They say, oh, these XYZ, the salaries, the benefits, what else again? There's a third one of government officials. And I laughed because I was like, so what's going to come out of this investigation that you're doing? Like, is the investigation because they are paid exorbitantly, or is it because you just want to show that you are working? Early this year, Adito, if you remember, in the thick of insecurity, in the thick of, was it early this year, maybe last year, in the thick of the economic meltdown, the salaries of government officials were increased. Their take home, their furniture allowance, housing allowance, transportation allowance, allowance, they were all increased. Like, think about it. How is it that the economy is going downhill, and in the middle of that, you decide to increase the salaries? You said that because they've not increased their salary in a long time. But do you know that even the minimum wage, not everybody is paying the 70K?
Absolutely, yes.
So what are we saying? Do you understand? Like, if some people are still paying, just try and imagine it, Nima. Yes. A crate of egg is 6,000 naira. Right, let's remove that. That's 6,000 naira. Now, okay, let's say 7,000 naira. The last time I checked, it was 6,000 as well. Remember, we talked about price regulation early this week as well. So some areas will sell it at 7,000 naira. Some areas are selling as high as 9,000 naira for a crate of egg. Now, if you go to the supermarkets, that's another ballgame entirely. But let's leave it to the markets, right?
Supermarkets.
Yes, let's leave it at a flat rate of 7,000 naira for a crate of eggs. A kilo of chicken. The last time I went to buy chicken, I think it was like someone was buying a kilo, and I think it was like 5. So let's just say 6,000 naira. Odielo, 13,000. Minimum minimum wage elo 30k, owakum elo 17,000 naira. Then that's only chicken and egg. Okay, let's remove the chicken because we're like
Perfect.
Yes, let's book for more. Let's book for more.
Let's remove the chicken, right? Let's leave the
Papa,
egg.
you did. Fumi, sorry to cut you. You didn't even say that. Let's even assume you want to buy live chicken. Can you even say you want to buy live chicken? That is ikoja here, as they will say it.
Live chicken is the amount of the minimum wage now. Chicken is like 21,000. The wage is
Oh my God.
8,000.
Do you understand? So we're doing all these calculations. We've not gotten to pepper because you need to cook the stew. Let's even say cook up some pepper that you want to make with only egg, right? Or you want to even buy panla. You could buy those 4 pieces of panla at 200 naira. Now it's not 200 naira. It's like 1,000 and above. So by the time we start calculating those things,
kerosene or gas, so
so do you understand? Like that's so. How does somebody? We thank God for life, to be honest, because most time I say it a lot. I say if we calculate how much is our salary or the money that we get and how much we actually spend, you look at it and say, God is faithful. God has been providing for me and my family, guaranteed. But I also don't want us to miss the mark because a lot of Nigerians do. As long as God is providing for me, I'm okay. But
I'm
then
okay,
there's somebody down the road who is also praying for God to provide for them,
Absolutely.
and yet they're able to.
and they don't have.
Yes.
So would you say that God is unfair? Well, would you say that they're not praying? Because we have there's that mentality of, oh, Bajira Dada, you are not maybe going to church properly, or you're not doing your fast.
Next thing she told me was, okay, we saw this meme, and I was like, poor man sleeping in the afternoon, how be sleeping in the afternoon, that she can understand if her father sleeps in the afternoon because he has made it in life. And I'm like, see what money costs. Because your father sleeping in the afternoon, he's tired, he needs to take a nap. A poor man sleeping in the afternoon, does it mean your father worked harder, or your father was smarter, or your father had more grace? It doesn't work like that. It's just positioning. It's positioning and conditioning.
Yeah, absolutely. A poor man sleeping at night in the afternoon is probably escaping from his problem. Adebogun with us on the Daily News Review program. My head is buzzing. I'm not even going to lie. We are live on YouTube, www.wfm917.com. Right? You can text us, WhatsApp us, or send us voice notes on 0703 1756537 or 08155 917 917. I mean, in the same vein, the next headline says from the Premium Times newspaper, it says, despite its wealth, Nigeria fails millions on education, healthcare, and jobs. This is a report from the Premium Times newspaper. Data released by the Human Rights Measurement Initiative, HRMI, an independent international non-profit organization, shows that Africa's most populous country remains in the very bad category on several economic and social rights indicators, despite modest improvements in some areas over the past 2 decades, not over the past 3 years, over the past 2 decades. No, that is interesting. Among the most striking findings is Nigeria's score of just 5.8% for the right to quality education. Every time Emmanuel comes on here, it talks about how there seems to be, yet this 5.8%, it is the second lowest score globally when it comes to the right to quality education. Added to that also, of course, is insecurity, war against education in the northern part of Nigeria. If it's not alarming, I don't know. Nigeria also scored 58.6% on the right to food, 48.8% on health education, 41% on housing, 34.9% on the right to work. HRMI has classified all these 4 scores as very bad, suggesting that millions of Nigerians continue to face significant barriers in accessing basic necessities and economic opportunities. Yeah.
Oh, we have a call.
Oh, okay. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Nima, you have to press the yellow button at the top on the screen.
I picked it. Oh, it has gone. I picked the call.
The yellow button at the top is what you have to like.
Yes.
Click on.
I pressed it, but maybe the person will call back.
0800-123-5917. In our health sector, every other day there is strike. Every
Good
other
morning.
day. Okay, we have a
Good
call.
morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Madam. Good morning,
I was
Madam.
expecting your call, Evangelist Dixon. Your person is in the studio.
Madam Adetumu.
Good morning.
I wanted to go out this morning. When I learned that you are the analyst, you are Madam Buki.
Yeah.
I spent time to listen to both. These people give me hope. That if all women in Nigeria are just joking, I don't think we have problem. We have good women. We have bad women. You are among the good women. God bless you. I've been listening to you. I believe what you say from police. If police want to do their work, I'm telling you, they will do it. If you can treat them very well, I'm telling you, they will do their work. But most of them, I find out how much the police country will be paid, even army. Find out. Let us, even if you do investigate journalism. Look at building collapse. Anytime I come on board, I say we should not blame Tinubu alone. I ask some people, if you are driving every day, if last man catch you or police catch you, which one you prefer? If police catch you, police can even give police 1,000 already. Say, carry your wallet. The lamp man catch you, it's going to be saved from 20,000. Corruption in Nigeria is too deep. Look at building. Whenever I come, building collapse. Have you checked the type of block they are using? If you are building, you are not there. We are a bricklayer supposed to use timber. Nigerians are thinking tomorrow the house will collapse, and we are complaining. Who do us? Politicians, because there's no accountability, and that's why people are rushing there. The civil servants are corrupt. Tell me any institution that's not corrupt. The judiciary, they are worse. I'm telling you, they are worse. They pronounce the guilty, not guilty. But I love one man. What is that? Like Sudan. He set example, the former NBA chairman. He set example when he get they met nothing. But he gave you a set example. He didn't know what I ever break that record. And this same man has Ubani Foundation. It was in a chat what you have just said. I don't want to repeat. Nigeria was not like people. In those days, people fear God. But in those days, we don't have as many churches. So these people are going to church, they're going to mosques. And some of our so-called men of God. I'm an evangelist. I'm not professing evangelist. So meaning that that's not what I do for living. I became a veteran in 92, God called me 2002, and I did this month, every morning I left, I will leave to preaching. And I want Nema to speak out on this Islamic. People call Allah to keep people do this. It is a fallacy because I have Quran. You need to enlighten people. So the people will know, initially I hate those things, thinking that what they're saying, but since I have heard on to this Quran, and we brought it, now we have become friends. I study and I'll be able to like, God just like light. People have no system and say, man has to show what change yours is pride. Good man is a person that has the fear of God. The person that has the fear has it. That person that doesn't have the fear can do and undo. Because we expect on a certain from any man because our heart is evil continually. It's only the word of God that changes. Nigeria was all like this. Some of them have advanced. And Nigeria was all like this before. I still believe Nigeria, if we all can do the right thing, anyway, let's start from what can we do to make Nigeria great, not what can we get from Nigeria. God is watching us. So it's appointed to my once after the job. God is according to Allah along with the kind of you keep on doing the right thing. If we want better Nigeria, we should all do the right thing anyway. God bless you, and Nigeria will be great again. Thank you, God bless. I do too. God bless you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for calling Evangelist Dixon. In the same vein, let's take some messages because I don't want us to forget the messages that we have this morning. Additional Wasiu says, morning to you in the studio. The state police bill scaled through the National Assembly is a welcome development. Hope the 24 states will also pass it. And gradually we are moving toward true federalism. Federal system of government. I hope those who are critical thinkers will look beyond the price of rice in the market. They will give kudos to Mr. President for his efforts to solve some critical problems. Excuse me, additional Wasiu. Excuse me. He said, we look beyond that to solve because we need to solve some critical problems which has made it difficult for Nigeria to grow. For Nigerians to know it's not easy. Ask OBJ or GEJ how difficult it is to get a bill passed in the National Assembly. Adetu, I'm going to ask you some questions basically from this because number one, he says removal of fuel subsidy. Now, when they removed this fuel subsidy on May 29, 2023, the idea or the long run was that removal of this subsidy means that we will see changes in the economy because the money is going to be diverted to something else. But I want to ask you, and I'm not even trying to be shady, or maybe I am. Please, have you seen any development from the reason why the subsidy was removed? That's my number one question. Number two, how much, maybe you're buying fuel at a different price, but how much are you buying for now? And this is not, somebody might come and say, oh, well, there's war in Iran. Yeah. This week we'll be talking about what the price of fuel in this week, myself and Nima, and I don't even talk about it. But I'm just asking, maybe there's a different price you're buying for at, because even before the war started, we had gotten to about close to late 900 naira, almost 1,000 naira before the war started, right? That's number two question I have for you. Number three question, floating of the naira. Maybe you have seen that the naira that we have now has made an improvement in our economy. I'm not aware. Again, I would like to be educated on this. Number four, local government autonomy. Maybe I would like you to. Number five, decentralization of electricity. Now, this one I'm very, very interested in because the last time I checked, Aripo hasn't had lights for the last 5 weeks. So maybe I'm the one that's... And interestingly, this morning on the express, there's an estate, Long Island estate, just by Kara Bridge, I think, or just shortly after Kara Bridge. They were protesting. I'm aware that Aripo protested about a week ago because of this no light. And still, they brought the lights to just appease everybody, and then now there's no light. They had come, and guess what? The management of that estate, this estate on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, got thugs to fight with the residents of the estate. I'm not giving you, I can send you the link at it if you want to see it, because I want to discuss it with the ladies of Higher Lands. Okay, reorganization of tax law. And I'm wondering, don't we pay taxes on everything right now? If you go to a restaurant to eat, they will charge you to eat. If you go to the cinema, they will charge you to watch a movie. Does that Owoti Mugba a salary? They are still charging me taxes on that salary, right? And that tax, I'm thinking, is supposed to cover every other tax. But from the money that I have been taxed, I am still taxed to go. I want to just enjoy my life because Nigeria is doing my head in, and I'm still being taxed on that. So I think that you are following me. The floor is yours, Adito, just because yeah.
I'm supposed to take water so that I can answer properly. Well, very, very good, because it's actually supposed to be an advantage to Nigeria and even to the citizens. But so far, how do you match these two, fuel subsidy removal and borrowing? Nigeria is in debt, yet we have removed fuel subsidy. You can see that the two is not really going well. And for all the other ones, of course, I'm a Nigerian citizen, a patriotic one at that. So whatever everybody is feeling, I'm also feeling. This is the reality, about everyday life. You could say that, is the Naira that we had before, a few years back, is it better compared to dollars that we have right now? Of course, the answer is no. If you look at electricity, I can count how many times that electricity tariff has been increased. You mentioned Arepo, where I am right now, exactly like 4 weeks, we've not really had lights. So you can imagine the trauma, I'm going through right now, having to do a lot of things and all that. Fuel, of course. Before the Iran whatever started, the war, let's just leave those ones in their own country with their wala. In Nigeria, we know how much we're buying. It was close to 1,000. Even in some filling stations, they will tell you it's 1,200. And just as you said, you see, everything boils down to the fact that it depends on your location. For those on the island, they have their own price. For those on the mainland, they have their own price. So this adjustment is even cutting across everywhere. And that was why when you mentioned egg at 6,000, I said before, it has increased depending on the area where you are. So all these things are realities that we are facing as a citizen of Nigeria. I am also facing that. And that's why I mentioned that out of 100%, why do we have a larger percentage going through this? When we have the ones that are supposed, they are minority, they are in power, and they are not feeling and they are not sensitive to what the majority people are facing. And don't forget that because they are in the minority, they will soon come back and join the majority, except if some of them, as we see now, they don't want to leave it. They have turned into Oyedile, as they say it. They want to just remain there and continue to share whatever it is they are sharing, forgetting about the people in the majority. And that's why the criticism comes more at them, because we felt, oh, percentage of people, but the majority is what we are talking about. If it goes around the majority, then we can score this government. I can even give them and be able to score them higher than what I've been giving them before. Because the indices are the ones that will show if this administration is working, if democracy is working, and if changes have been made from the also come down politically. We have said it. Democracy come down politically. We have said it. Democracy, Nigeria, or the economy, on their business, on their livelihood, on things happening around them, then they really need to go back to the drawing board and ask themselves those salient questions. Is democracy working for Nigerians? Is democracy working for an ordinary citizen, even at the lowest cadre? If we can find that, then it will be good, to attest to what the listener, mentioned, that bring it down to the level of Nigerians, to the ordinary Nigerians, that they understand that, and that it fits into their daily life and how they are able to manage with whatever is going on. So yes, all these policies are good, but let it begin to work. We want results to begin to work. Let it impact life, not just on black and white.
Yeah, thank you so much. The next message before I hand over to Nima: my reservations about state police have not changed. I just hope we are not creating another state independent electoral commission in a different form. Given our political
of the source or subsidy, do you think it's
years to come? We can go back to it and say this is the effect or the result coming from Tinubu's administration. I give it to them. Now, fund is working, and I